What about our taxation system? So complex, there is no one who can possibly comply with every jot and tittle of our tax and say. What we need to do is come up with something that's simple. And when I pick up my Bible, you know what I see? I see the fairest individual in the universe, God, and he's given us a system. It's called tithe. Now, we don't necessarily have to do it 10%, but it's principle. He didn't say, if your crops fail, don't give me any tithes. He didn't say, if you have a bumper crop, give me triple tithes. So there must be something inherently fair about proportionality.
Let me play, you said something in talking about the economy that really hit home with me. Okay. And that's about the deficit. $16.5 trillion we have.
That is a number that is so mind-boggling, and that's why I said if you counted one number per second, it would take you 507,000 years, more than 500,000 years. It's a number that's just staggering, and it's continuing to grow. And you know, we sit around and we talk about, well, maybe we can keep it from growing further. We need to reduce it, and the way to reduce it, obviously, is to get the economy growing again. You know, it doesn't really do any good to keep taking from this tree or that tree and squeezing it down. You know, I like parables, so in the book America the Beautiful, I give a parable of two brothers, identical brothers, and they're put on deserted islands with their families. And one had the philosophy, they only ate trees and products of trees. One had the philosophy, I'm going to eat what I need and I'm going to let the others grow. Pretty soon he had an entire forest. He had enough food forever. The other one, as soon as a sapling came up, he was on it and eating it. And he and his family eventually starved to death. It's basically the same kind of thing if you keep taking and taking rather than creating a situation where you can grow. And you look at the fact that we have the highest corporate taxes in the world, and then we wonder why companies are going offshore. Well, we need to go back to basic business school and understand that companies are there to earn money, not to be social welfare organisms.
He became president. I'm not asking you a political question.
Right.
To me, this is more of a moral issue.
It is.
You can't steal from your kids and grandkids.
And the people years before World War II, it's really when it started deteriorating, always felt that we needed to pay our debts down. And again, you'll see lots of quotes in the book about what our founding fathers and some of our predecessors thought about sending debt to the next generation, that in fact it was immoral. We've just completely forgotten about that now.
Yeah, I think that is a defining issue of our time.
It is. And you know, the other thing is we need to create a situation that has everybody involved. Everybody has to have skin in the game in order to make this work. We talk about an egalitarian society. Well, if everybody is paying according to their ability, which is what the tithing system was, it's proportional. If you make $1 gazillion, you pay a lot of tax. If you make very little, you pay very little tax. But your skin is in the game. Now, the reason that our government, as it stands now, doesn't like that is because if everybody has skin in the game, it makes it a whole lot harder for you to raise taxes. And now you got to be accountable to everybody, and you can't just make 1% or 2% or 5% mad.
We're going to take a break to be the answer. And what do you think of Obamacare?
Well, I think that we've been programmed, unfortunately, to become victims and to think that somebody should be taking care of us. We've gone to a can-do nation to a what can you do for me nation. And we start inculcating that into people at an early age. You go to schools now, and they don't want to give the Outstanding Academic Award because everybody's outstanding. And don't want anybody to feel bad. You know, come on, give me a break. But you know, you start all of that stuff.
You can't play dodgeball either, Doctor. You know, you can't keep score.
Yeah. So it perpetuates itself throughout their lives. And all of a sudden you wind up with a bunch of people who want to occupy everything because, you know, it's theirs anyway. You didn't deserve that. It should be mine.
Doesn't that go back to a lesson that you say your mother taught you about you control your destiny?
Absolutely.
And these health savings accounts? And you even said people that are poor and indigent,
Right.
that there would be a way to help them.
Right, because the government is already spending enormous amounts of money on healthcare dollars on indigent people. Taking not all of that money, only a portion of it, but divvying it up into people's HSAs, over which they now have some control, would make a huge difference. Now, will it be necessary to do some fine-tuning, and will it be necessary to create some encouragements for people who are not indigent to put money into their HSAs, to encourage their employers to put money into their HSAs? Yes, but these are all things that we can work out. What we need to do is get out of the framework of, as soon as somebody's saying something, say, no, that can't work, that's why I can't, and say, yeah, that can work, and here's how it can work. And if we begin to put our minds together and understand the concept that we're aiming at, and that is bringing some personal responsibility into the healthcare arena, we can solve that problem. We got to get over the ideology. If we strain everything through an ideological screen, we will never make any progress.